Turn the ship around and head for the shore. I long to see your face through every storm. My hands have grown tired from holding on. I guess I can't save you after all, but I'm sailing on. Let you go, so far away, and I wasted the years alone, and I'm holding on. I saw you again last night in my dreams. Memories of you are bittersweet. No, you don't see things the way that I do, but all that I do for you. But I'm sailing on to go so far away, and I wasted the years alone, and I'm holding on to you. I'm losing you. Say it's not true. I always needed. I need you. So far away. But you go so far away, and I wasted the years.
Hey guys, happy Friday! We're back. I feel like we were just here yesterday. This week has flown by like crazy.
This camera angle.
And I just need a couple more days this week. It's just been flying by so fast, and it needs to slow down. I don't want my summer to end. I need my summer to stick around for a while. I'm not ready for fall. I'm not ready for the bonfires and hoodies. I prefer my bathing suit and swimming pools. Prefer the beach, really, but
I
hope
prefer my short sleeve shirt, long pants, and air conditioning.
wait, you have that all year round, so
Oh, that's right.
if anybody out there is struggling and needs to chat, please feel free to pop in to the comments or to give us a call on the hotline 267-737-8031. We are here, we are listening. We're going to talk about coping with lapses tonight in the Smart Recovery Family and Friends book. So I hope everybody's liking what they're seeing, what they've been hearing. I hope everybody was able to pop in to see our buddy Irvin and his girl Lori, who were here last week. Irvin came on the show when we first moved into the recording studio, and he shared his story and moved since to Vegas and came back and shared his
He just came back for a cameo appearance, a visit. He's heading back. Is he back yet? Or?
Yeah, he left last night, so he should be home. He's probably sleeping because they looked pretty beat when I saw his post. They were pretty much asleep on each other, sitting in the chair. So he ate his way through Pennsylvania and New Jersey.
All the delicacies.
Yes. And Lori happens to be from New York, New Jersey area.
North Jersey.
So, she's used to the East Coast foods.
I ask people all the time, I say them all over the country, what do you know for your area food-wise? And nobody has as many foods as we do in this area.
I'm telling you,
it's like we're like, oh, I don't know.
I don't know why we're so fat.
We got so much cool food in this area that's indigenous to our area.
Yep.
Cool.
It
Great.
is. I really, I like food, and it's nice that I can have a cheesesteak when I want it. I can have an amazing roll, which people just don't understand it unless you've had it. The rolls are amazing. Here in this area, you go up north and they're lousy. So it must be the water. I don't know what it is, but it's really good.
Well, it depends what kind of north stuff. Like, of course, New York and North Jersey, they got good bread.
Yeah, they do. They do. I have to say, they absolutely
Well,
do.
west, towards like the Poconos and all that. Oh, terrible bread.
Yeah, I'm not a big mountain bread person.
Weird. I mean, that's
Might be
not
that
far away. I mean, it changes.
exact, and it might be the altitude. I don't know.
I
Who
don't
knows?
know.
Could be the water.
It's the water. The water.
The water. It could be the
Man, you gotta do something with all these wires.
crystal clear water up
Craziness.
there. Water. How's everybody doing tonight? We are doing fine here. How are you doing, hon?
I think I'm doing pretty good. Thanks for asking.
Awesome. I know it was a hot one today, and I suffered in the air today because my body just wasn't feeling quite like dying today. We've had rain for the last 2 days.
Trying to get Wendy on to chat.
Not.
Do you need to create a YouTube channel? What's all this? She's on computer, not cell phone.
Who's that?
Margie. Hey, Barb. Barb's in the house. Margie's in the house. Larry's in the house.
Just go to YouTube and look for Living Hopeful.
Really, Margie, it's
And-
on any platform. Just go to YouTube and look for Living Helpful and click on it, look for live.
Yep, look for the little red banner that says live, because we are live and in
in
the
the flesh.
studio. And I like my book. It covers a lot of sin.
Live and in
And
person.
Barb's here in the house. Hey, Barb. Larry's in the house. Mary's in the house. Marge is in the house.
We're getting people coming up on a tote board here. We got all kinds of monitors around us here.
And Irvin just popped in the house. Yes, you are on the right channel, Irv.
Yeah, all right. We hope your lady friend there enjoyed her visit here.
Yes, I enjoyed
She looked
meeting
like she
her.
had fun. We enjoyed her company.
Yes, and it's nice to know who I'm talking to when I see her pop in and
Your lady
comment.
friend. That was nice. My mother really said, "I'm having my lady friends over."
You know what,
My lady
Irvin?
friend.
I just said that. It seems like yesterday you were here and we were chatting and this week went by so fast. I can't even stand it. So baby girl, she went in for her orientation for kindergarten. I can't believe that she's in kindergarten already. It's time is flying by so fast. And
Margie, she's having a hard time, but she had something she wants to ask or comment. She could call us on the hotline even.
yep.
If she can't get through. It's up there 267-737-8031.
We're always
Live and in the
listening.
flesh.
And if she needs to text that number, that is available as well. She can go ahead and text that number. And
Yeah, if she texts that'll go right through to Lori. It won't come up on the screen here in the show, but Lori can answer any questions for her.
yes,
She's having a hard time getting through and texting on
yeah,
the show at live here.
just don't ask me how to figure it out because there's no way I can do that. I am technically
We are technically challenged.
very technically challenged. So yeah, that's not going to happen on for me because it's just too hard for me to understand it. So but no, yeah, you're right, Irv. It feels like you were just here yesterday. It's the weirdest thing. I was just walking out the door like, is today Friday? Yesterday I was like, what's today? Is it Tuesday? And it's flown by. It flew by.
What happens
But
when you get old?
baby girl, she just cannot wait to start school now. They went in for orientation. She made 2 friends. I have a feeling she's going to sit next to the teacher because
I did most of my school days. I was always within striking distance.
exactly.
Oh, hey, I think we got a caller.
We have a caller.
We have a caller. How about it, caller? How are you?
Hello.
Hello, caller.
How are you?
Good.
We're calling from our seats in our living room. We got back from the pool, had our dinner. So Aunt Sue, your mom, and Bill.
Awesome. Well, I hope you enjoy the show.
We're watching it.
All righty. Well,
Give Barb her love, too.
I
okay?
will.
All right, that's California
She's in the
checking
house.
in. We got California checking in. We got Vegas checking in.
Yep. So,
We got Port Richmond checking in.
yes. So, well, thank you for watching, and I hope you enjoy it. Barb says hi, Mom. And, yeah. I will be there Tuesday to pick up Aunt Sue, and hopefully she can take her little trip to Santa Cruz before she gets home.
Oh, yeah. We're going to keep her here till the 6th.
Okay.
Because we have Philadelphia Scrapple coming on the 5th.
There you go.
And those our regional delicacies like I
Yes.
was talking about.
Yes.
Well, we're going to sign off now.
All right.
All right,
Have a good night.
Thanks for touching base with us there. That's my favorite mother-in-law coming to you live from Cali.
Well, have a good night. Bye-bye.
Say-
Everybody that is watching, if you are watching on your phone or laptop, you will and computer, I believe, and you are subscribed to the channel, you can actually comment while we are on the show. And if not, and you really need to get some things off your chest or need some suggestions, please feel free to call in the hotline there, 267-737-8031. It will be there up on the screen all night, so if you need it, it's there. I hope you had a great visit, Irvin. I know that I was watching your posts, and it seemed like you had a great time with the family, and not sure how much fishing you got in, but I hope you did get a little bit of fishing in, and I hope you got some rest today. But anyway, what's going on in your world? Okay, so we're in the school zone now for the first time in, 23 years that Richard's been out of school now.
I don't know. Well, Larry said the kids grow up so fast. One minute, they're starting kindergarten. Next minute, they're getting married. It seems like yesterday, Larry, I was teaching my son to pull my finger, and now today he's producing my show, our show.
Exactly.
Time flies, man.
It's going so fast, and
Well, let's talk recovery.
Yes.
Enough with all the family formalities.
Yeah,
I don't
I'm
think
just waiting for
everybody really
people
wants
to
to hear
pop
about
on, and one of my loved ones went away today to rehab. Hopefully he will stay as long as possible. There's always hope. Yes, there's always hope, and I hope that they can keep an open mind and an open heart and take the suggestions that is offered to them. That's the best way they can find help and hope. And
Yeah, hopefully they stay the whole time there, Marty. Hope they. How many days do they plan on staying? Hopefully at least a month. At least
Right.
28 days
exactly.
minimum. I mean, 90 days is like really preferable, but it's very hard to do anymore,
Yeah.
especially insurance-wise and all.
Exactly.
But I mean, 30 days minimum, really. I mean, if you really want to make an impact on on yourself and change your ways, I mean, it's kind of hard to do in a week.
Yeah. And really, if you're only there to shut up your loved one,
You're there
it's
for all the wrong
usually
reasons.
yeah, it's usually not. I'm not going to say that they don't get it, because some people do get it. Some people go in for the wrong reasons because of get somebody off their back, but they also get it. So there are always
Larry.
those few that get it for a different reason than them wanting it themselves. So with that, I hope that they take it and take the suggestions and work, because it works if you work it, and that's one of the slogans, and it's so true. So anyway, we're doing the Smart Recovery Families and Friends, and we are up to chapter 9, and tonight is coping with lapses. And again, feel free, if you have any questions, concerns, or asking for suggestions or help, to call in. We can stop what we're doing to help anybody out. So don't think you can't,
Really, man,
stop. This is what we're
you got
here
anything
for.
pressing or something you feel you need to get off your chest, or call in.
Yeah.
I mean, you're not interrupting us. That's what we're here for.
Exactly. That's the most important thing. Okay, so lapses versus relapse.
Oh my God.
What is a lapse? A lapse is a temporary setback in the process of changing your behavior. It is an occasion or number of occasions when you have been unable to stick to your goals for change and have gone back to your habitual ways of responding. Example, self-care. If you have committed to adding a 30-minute walk to your day as part of your self-care plan and find yourself distracted by other things and forgetting about the walk, that would be considered a lapse. Communication. If you have committed to using a positive communication style when talking to your loved one about a problem and then find yourself getting into a heated argument about the problem, that would be considered a lapse also. Boundaries. As part of developing healthy boundaries for yourself, You may have committed to removing yourself when your loved one comes home intoxicated. If your loved one comes home intoxicated and instead of following your boundary, plan and removing yourself, you get angry and yell at your loved one, that would be considered a lapse. What is a relapse? Unlike a lapse, which is temporary, a relapse is when we lose sight of our goals for change and return to our old habits. Sometimes we give up on the changes we were trying to make because it seems too hard to keep going. We may end up giving up completely on the new behavior, especially if we aren't seeing any significant positive results of our efforts. Consequently, a relapse lasts much longer than a lapse. If we have an occasion or occasions of resorting to behaving in old unhelpful ways, but we are still committed to trying to develop new, more helpful behaviors, this would be considered a lapse rather than a relapse. However, repeated or prolonged lapses tend to lead to relapses. So it is important to take steps early to get back on track following a lapse.
And back on track, as like we like to say, a relapse doesn't necessarily have to be a collapse.
Exactly.
So, get back in your lane, get back to work, and continue on with your recovery.
Exactly.
Don't throw in the towel and say, oh, that's it, I effed up, and then be hard.
Right.
Then it becomes a collapse.
Exactly.
Relapse, just turn around, use the tools you have, get back to work, and continue on.
Exactly. And that's the most important thing is picking up that toolbox again and reaching out and calling your community, your recovery community.
Your sponsor, whatever.
Yes, whether it's family, whether it's somebody that is in recovery and had a relapse, or even thinking like life is getting in the way and pick up the phone instead. Meet somebody for coffee, talk to somebody. It's very important that you really stay true to yourself and find that help that's there for you.
And that's why we can't make it, stress it anymore. It's really important to have like a sponsor or somebody that you're communicating with about your recovery, that can call you on things, that can see you're struggling before you even realize it. Like I say, a lot of times people that are close to you, like a sponsor or whatever, can see a relapse on its way before it actually happens.
Mm-hmm.
Where you might not even realize it. You'll see an instant change in your demeanor, a big change in your interests, things that interest you all of a sudden now don't interest you. They'll see a change where you're not really seeing it as much. And it could be for a multitude of reasons. I mean, your focus could be on other things, on work and this and that, and it's changing a whole difference in you. And it's important to have someone that can call you on that, say, hey, is everything okay?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Sometimes we need that. We need that checks and balances, somebody would say, yeah, are you okay? And they go, yeah, you know what, I don't think I am.
Yeah, and if you're at home with your loved one who is not dealing with the disease of addiction or substance use disorder, and if they mention, listen, I see that things are, you're doing some things that you used to when you were struggling with your disease, then it becomes an argument because you don't know what you're talking about. You don't trust me. So, we have to remember that we have to reach out to those that understand what we're going through. Because somebody that isn't affected by the disease isn't going to understand it like somebody that has been through it and is doing the right thing. And that's why we have meetings. That's why we have phone lists. That's why we have sponsors. And sponsors is the most important thing, because that's somebody that's going to call you out on your shit and not say, oh, well, that's okay, so you relapse. No big deal, we'll just start again. Like, no, they're going to say, and I say it all the time, why did you pick up? What made you pick up and not pick up the phone?
And if they're close to you, they know that there's things going on in your life. That things that could be, it could be your car took a shit on you. You got to get a new car. You're all upset over that. Your dog could have died. I mean, there's so many things that can really put you in a tailspin. And if you're not sharing your life with people, nobody's going to know that could be an issue for you. That's why you have somebody you check in with, like a sponsor, with us that on a weekly basis or whatever it is. They'll notice certain things are going on in your life. Maybe your job's not going as good. You got passed over for a promotion. It's really eating away at you. You get depressed. You start stinking thinking, getting in your own head. But if nobody knows you're going through these things, I mean, they don't know to really check up with you and call you and ask you about how life's treating you.
And really, they're not going to.
And we don't like to bother people. I don't want to bother them with my problems. They got their own problems. You'll come up with a million excuses why not to call them, but they'll tell you flat out that that's what we're here for.
And they struggled with that as well until they got into the program and they saw that, okay, I have to call. Because they may even see you struggling and pick up that call and say, listen, what's going on? I'm here to help you. But they're only going to do that a certain amount of time before they say, they have to figure it out. They have to get back on track where they need to be. And I'm not going to get them there. So pick up the phone. I can't even say that enough. Pick up the phone. Go see somebody that can help you through, walk you through it. Call back your counselor. Whatever you have to do to get where you need to be and get out of your head. That's the biggest thing.
Tune into our show and ask us questions. I mean, whatever it takes.
Yes. What does it mean if I have a lapse? Am I doomed to a relapse? Often lapses occur when we encounter a situation that we cannot manage using our new strategies. This may happen because we planned for a situation, but the situation didn't end up being as we expected. Or we're unable to put our plan into action. We couldn't plan for a situation because the situation was unexpected. We didn't plan for a situation because we had been doing well for a while and thought we'd be okay. Having a lapse doesn't mean we have failed. And that is so important that it's not a failure. It's simply a signal that we need to be prepared to handle the situation better the next time it occurs. And always remember to, think it out. Like, we're always in our head, and no matter what, our head always goes to the doom and gloom instead of the possibilities. Well, what if I don't do this for them? Then they're going to go back out on the street and use. What if you don't do that for them and they decide, let me try this, and they do amazing at it? Like, we're always going to, the negative and never looking at the positive. The positive is so important to keep you on track.
Yeah, negative. Really sometimes we just get too carried away with helping our loved ones, and we say this all the time, and helping them do things that they could definitely do for themselves. With all the best of intentions. But I mean, they don't learn from this. They don't grow from this. They have to start taking their recovery seriously and putting in the work.
Yep.
I mean, it's doable, but you got to put in the work.
Yeah. And you have to ask for help. That's the most important. John says just walk in the door. That is so important. Walk in the door, take that seat in front, and raise that hand.
Hey, there's
If-
our buddy John.
If you can't seem to want to raise your hand because you feel weird or whatever, insecure, the biggest part of the program is getting comfortable with being uncomfortable.
Definitely great phrase there.
That is the most important thing that you will learn. I know for me as a family member, walking into my first meeting, I was grateful that my sister was in visiting from out of town, because I don't know if I would have walked in the door without some sort of support. And after she left, my aunt came a couple times and helped me get through that door. And I can't say enough how important, it is. If you are struggling and you're struggling to get through that door, somebody's there to take your hand, especially if you've gone through the program. You've gone through detox, you've gone through rehab, you have phone numbers. Call them. Go in with them. And that is what is so important, is the community of recovery is so strong, and they're there to help you.
Definitely.
Because
you won't find a more close-knit group of people, that are selfless. They just want to help you.
Mm-hmm.
Because they know what they needed and when they needed the help.
exactly.
It's a tough journey to do on your own, if not impossible.
And that's what happens to a lot of people. They think, I can do this myself. I can do this my way.
And many times that'll be your first couple approaches. And then you start your own program. You start tweaking what you returned, and well, I don't have to do it. I can do it this way, and I have to do all these meetings, this and that, and then next thing you know, it's not working.
Thanks, John. I'm struggling with it, but it'll get there. It all grows back.
Yeah, we got a new dude tonight. I'm surprised she didn't announce it there.
It all grows back and it all
I
grows
don't
out.
even know who I'm with. Sometimes I need to get out of here. My wife will be home any minute. I don't know. They're different colors, different styles, whatever. I've had the
Yes.
same style since 1979, and it works for me.
Yes. Managing lapses. If you should have a lapse, remember to watch yourself talk. See Section 3, the inner dialogue. We've already gone over that. Beating yourself up over the incident tends to be counterproductive and may lead to further lapses. If you feel so angry or disappointed in yourself that you start saying things like, I'm hopeless, I might as well give up. This will probably make it more difficult to move forward and get back on track. Remember, you are human and therefore not 100% perfect. So why would your behavior be? And that is so important that we know. We are human. We make mistakes. And we can either learn from it or continue on that path of destruction. So it's best to try your very best to have positive attitude to get where you want to be. Lapses and learning opportunities. Lapses are learning opportunities, sorry. Instead of beating yourself up, you might choose to view a lapse as a learning experience. First, accept what happened, and then work out why it happened and what you could do differently next time. Some of the skills and strategies you've been working on with smart family and friends may be of assistance with this. It is not possible to guarantee that you will never experience a lapse. Often lapses are part of the process of changing. One of the best things you can do is to make a plan for what to do if you do have a lapse. People who have a plan for dealing with a lapse are much less likely to relapse. So, coping with lapses. It can be helpful to have a plan for how to deal with a lapse. Even if you never need to use it, the following steps can help to help get back on track and avoid a relapse. challenging any self-defeating thoughts. Examine your thoughts about the lapse using RABT. Strategies for challenging unhelpful beliefs. Below is an example using the scenario in the previous handout of getting angry and yelling at your loved one when they came home intoxicated rather than sticking to your boundary plan of removing yourself. So the unhelpful thought is, I'm so hopeless, I'll never be able to figure out how to deal with this situation. I might as well give up.
Yeah, very, very common thought there.
Here's your evidence for, I wasn't able to control my anger. Evidence against, I've been successful in lots of other situations. This was just one slip up. More helpful thoughts, I've been doing well controlling my anger and looking after myself in lots of situations up until now. This was just a slip up. And that's the most important thing, is to really think about your situation and turn that negativity into positivity. And you know, it's hard. I know it's hard.
It's hard, and we're not making light of it either. I mean, it's serious.
Right.
Very serious, but yeah, it's not serious enough where you got to throw in the towel and give up. I mean,
Right.
I would say, don't let it become a collapse. I mean, don't let everything collapse around you, and there's no need for it. Because we're the hardest on ourselves than anybody else is. We beat ourselves up over this. We consider like a moral failure or whatever kind of failure. It's not the case. It's something that happens, and a lot of people get angry when you say relapse is a part of recovery. A lot of people don't like that phrase. It's very common in recovery, but they don't like when you phrase it like that.
And
But
it
it doesn't necessarily have to be part of recovery.
Exactly.
But unfortunately, it happens very frequently, and that's the nice way.
Most
of
often
saying it.
than not. So identify why the lapse happened. There is usually a trigger for a lapse. Think about what was going on before the lapse occurred. It may be something that happened. Example, I had an argument with my partner earlier in the day. It may be a feeling you had. Example, being tired or stressed over work events. Were you unprepared for the situation that happened? Did your plan not work for some reason? This is one important thing, because if you hear these reasons, they all seem kind of like sad events, where it can happen because of a good thing that happened. It could be, something good that happens and you want to celebrate, and you forget that, okay, I want to celebrate, but I need to, go have sex or something.
Oh, hey,
Not-
holy mackerel.
Not pick up the bottle.
Holy
Go
smokes,
to a
Andy.
movie.
Family show.
And, celebrate over a dinner, something. It doesn't mean, you can pick up that drink or drug, because that's just going to lead you back to where you started. So whether it's good or bad or indifferent, just be cautious of what the celebration is. Think about what you could have done differently. It may help to use problem-solving skills. See the book, Get Your Loved One Sober, Chapter 8, to develop a plan for dealing with that situation differently the next time. And really think about, okay, this is what I did this time. This is what caused me to pick up. Now, what am I going to do differently the next time? And what other scenarios in life could be the same and bring me to that situation? And how should I react? So many times Babby and I discuss, like, we haven't smoked in so long, and there's just some situations that, I know I find myself looking for my cigarettes, and like I haven't smoked in years. Like, why am I looking for cigarettes? Why am I looking for my lighter to light cigarettes that I don't have? And it's just certain situations that bring us back because we're not really thinking, it's just reaction. So be prepared for those reactions.
Yeah, that's weird. I remember cigarettes being explained to me. It's like a three-prong type of addiction. There's a chemical addiction, there's a mental addiction, and there's something else.
Habitual.
Habitual, yeah, it's something, I forgot what it was, but it's like a three-pronged event where that's why, like, years later, you're like, I don't know, it's smoke, what the hell am I looking for?
Right.
And I'm sure other things are the same way. I mean, because they're triggers, is what it is.
Mm-hmm.
And it triggers your brain. I mean, it's certain events. It may take you back to another time.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, just like you're in a car, you hear a song, like, wow, it
Exactly.
takes you back to like that time. Like, holy crap, I could tell you everything I was doing.
Yeah.
I was in the car. I was heading to the shore. You know what I mean? The
Or you're
brain is-
watching a movie and
the
you're
brain
like,
is
oh
very
my God, the
powerful.
first time I saw this movie, I was this X, Y, and Z. Like,
Yeah, but your brain is very powerful. And I always say, don't try to outsmart your own brain.
exactly.
'Cause, I mean, it's an amazing organ device, whatever you want to call it, and you got to be very careful, not to trigger your brain like with certain things.
Exactly. So get extra support if you need to. Sometimes lapses can be a sign that you need extra support. It is better to seek extra help after a lapse than to keep struggling by yourself and risk having your lapse develop into relapse. Use some of the contacts in your support network or the contacts in the handout other potential sources of support. And
Need
these
extra
are
support, like a fat lady going to Weight Watchers without a girdle. You know what I mean? You got to have that extra support to feel good.
yeah. So, you know, these are just some of the things that you can do to move forward in your recovery, just like going to a wedding, going to a family barbecue, going to a barbecue with friends. Not everybody is in recovery. Not everybody has a problem with alcohol. I think everybody has a problem with drug, but alcohol is, you know, the center of a lot of celebrations out there. So learning how to be in a situation where there is alcohol or drugs involved,
Right.
you need that support system. You need that help to say, you know, it looks like you're getting a little squirrely. That's, you know, let's get out of
Boy,
here.
about $1 every time somebody told me that. Holy smokes.
Yeah, that's
And don't forget, alcohol is a drug. We tend to forget that you consider it a drug, but it's legal. Let me tell you, more people die each year from alcohol than any other drug. It's just that it takes much longer to kill you. It's a slow death on your organs and such, this and that. I mean, so more people still die every year from alcohol-related deaths. And I'm not talking just accidents. I mean, you know, physical, you know, medically, you know, induced death from alcohol. I mean, it's probably the most widely abused drug that we're exposed to out here. But yet it's legal. You
It's legal.
Buy it anywhere.
Look at marijuana. It's legal so many
Oh, don't get me
places
started on the
now.
marijuana thing.
It's so.
I'm not
you-
even talking about marijuana anymore. After I got beat up on that social media site,
but
by all them
that's
pot smokers.
but that's the thing. It's now legal, so you know it's not a drug. That
Right,
you know it's
right.
legal. I can do it. Well,
Right.
it's legal and you can do it if you don't have a problem with it.
And like, you know, it helps a lot of people. But, you know, like, Lord, now that it's legal, the gates are open. The floodgates are open. Everybody and their brother smoking pot now, you know, because, oh, it's legal, must be okay.
Yes.
For a lot of people before, well, you know, there's a reason why things are illegal. You know, make it legal, man. Well, it just opens the door for abuse. It really does. I mean, and I'm not anti-pot. Trust me, I'm not. And it's got great medical benefits. I agree with you all that wholeheartedly. I believe, though, you know, people are just relying on it for too many things.
Right.
I mean, thinking it's going to get them off of opiates and, you know, well beyond the medical moniker, you know, Parkinson's and pain and this and that. That's great. I'm all behind that.
A
But if you hear
substance
some of this
is
stuff,
a substance is a substance. Period. You know, it is
wait,
beneficial
stop.
to.
Barb's talking about sex. Right. Wait Wait a minute. I see it coming up on the hotline. She likes to erase things. This is so true about celebrating. Sex would be better. I must concur, Barb.
Yeah, and it is. That's important. That's where you have to say, I would rather be doing this than going back to my old habits and losing everything that I built back for myself.
I remember my first sexual experience. It was magical. I just wish I'd had someone to share it with.
Yes. Thanks for that. So, maintaining motivation. Behavior change is almost never easy. It can be difficult to maintain our motivation for change, especially in the aftermath of a lapse or when we see no visible results of our efforts. People often say that motivation doesn't last. Well, neither does bathing. That's why we recommend it daily.
Well, there's a good one. I like that. I'm going to use that.
To help,
Larry's going to steal that. I know Larry's going to steal that. He's going to use it at the next meeting. I know you will, Larry.
to help maintain our motivation, it can be helpful to revisit our original reasons for wanting to change, review our progress so far, and our goals for the future. And here's just a list of things that is in the book. And if you don't have the book, there it is. But what were your original reasons for making a change? Keep that in mind. What changes have you noticed so far? So when you do take that first step into changing, so you want to get into exercising, but you want to start running, but you don't even walk around the block.
Yeah, I thought about exercising this morning.
Yeah.
I laid down to the thought passed.
But if you want to be a runner and you haven't exercised for years, your best bet on setting that goal is to get up and start walking the block for, a certain period of time. Turning it into 2 blocks, 4 blocks, maybe a slow jog. Like, that's how we make things work. That's how we make change.
Instead of going head first, full tilt, whereas it may cause you to give up. You know what I
Right.
mean? Because it's just too much, too
Right.
fast. And you're like, oh, this ain't working. You gotta ease into things,
Exactly. Take it slow. Only have 1 Twinkie instead of 2. How have these changes?
Why did they put 2 in the back?
How have these changes affected your life? Like, look at your life and what has changed in it. You may have gone from living at home with your parents or a loved one and, gone through your detox, gone through your rehab, and chose to go into a recovery house where you're learning how to learn life on your own without depending on family or your spouse to take care of all of your situations. And getting back things like your driver's license, a checking account. Like, these are the things that we have to remember to look at when we're in our recovery. All the things that we had lost and all the things we are building back. What might the future look like if you continue to work towards change? And this is important. They always say 1 day at a time. And that's very important. That is a very important slogan in recovery, 1 day at a time. That means working on a goal you have set for your future, but living that goal 1 day at a time. So today, I have made it around the block 3 times. But by the end of the month, I want to be doing a slow jog for a mile.
This is all hypothetical, by the way.
Yes, trust me. Eating the half a bag of M&Ms
I walk around the
instead
block.
of the
I
whole.
gotta come home and make a sandwich.
But that's what you have to look at, because we all have to set goals for ourselves, because if we don't set a goal, we're going to just sit back and, waste the day away.
Yeah, but you need something to drive you. You need a driving force to strive towards. It keeps you focused. It keeps your brain focused on
Right.
positive things.
So yes, it is important to live each day, one day at a time, but work towards a goal for it. Why is it important to you? And that's important, like, why do you want to do this for yourself? Because you want to better your life. You want to get back all that you have lost.
And when you reach that goal, you feel so much better. You feel like you've accomplished something.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And it picks you up. It lifts you up. It really does. So by setting goals that are reachable, not some crazy goal first where it's going to depress you. You make it easy. And when you get there, that little things, I mean, even if you don't admit it, it makes you feel better.
Yes.
It makes you feel more successful in what you're striving towards. And you need things like this
proud.
to pick you up. Because you're so
Exactly.
depressed as it is, I mean, you're setting yourself up to be picked up instead of setting yourself up to feel like shit and be, emotionally distraught.
Right.
I mean, so you need some positive things. You need some goals. You need some things accomplished, and you feel like you're coming along with it, man. And you need to feel good, without using drugs or alcohol.
Substances.
Substances.
What might the future look like if you stop working toward change? I know exactly what it's going to look like. It's going to look like I'm going to start getting into my own head. I'm going to start detaching and isolating. And I'm going to get depressed. And the anxiety is going to build. And the only way to stop it is to pick up that substance instead of picking up that phone. So that's why it's important to keep that positive motivation going and, working towards that and learning how to get past any hurdles that might come before that goal. That's so important to set that goal and work towards it, and also look at, okay, I want to stay positive. However, this, that, or the other thing could get in the way of that. How do I get around that so I can stay the course and hit that goal? That's important. How do you feel about this? Once you start living that day within that 24 hours, that's just one day towards that goal you're setting. And, as long as there hasn't been any walls put up, you're going to feel good about yourself. You're going to feel like, okay, I can do this. I can wake up tomorrow. I can get on my knees. I can do what I need to do. I can meditate. I can see what the day holds for me to take one more step closer to my goal. And that's what, and even if you have to do, I don't know what they call it, but it's a board every day. Like, these are my goals. This is what I'm going to do today to get there. This, I'm going to give, 20 minutes to meditation. I'm going to give, 5 minutes to prayer. I'm going to give 5 minutes to this, that, or the other thing. Like, map out your day so that you can keep on track.
Or I'm going to try to help someone today, too, along the way, along with myself.
Exactly.
And doing that can make you feel more fulfilled and more useful and more positive. I mean, that's the greatest part. I mean, especially when you get into your recovery, I mean, you'll notice so many people strive to help other people a lot. And it does make you feel good, and it's just positive things. And even in early recovery, there's no problem trying to help someone else along
Exactly.
the way.
And when I first started this, on my kitchen table with my phone, we weren't getting a lot of viewers, and, I didn't feel like I was doing anything. And one night I got a text that they were thanking me because they were on the verge of relapse. And because they heard some people that were sharing on the show and what I was suggesting and sharing, they went to a meeting instead. And I decided, okay, well, I'm doing something, so I guess I'll continue this, because I was in my head saying, well, I don't really see any, help here, so I don't know if I'm going to do this anymore. Plus, I was very insecure myself. Not that I am still, but
Now we're professionals.
very-
Look at all
I-
the fancy equipment.
I
out
was
there.
very insecure, and I still am.
I mean, we got guitars hanging in the back. We used to have the big wooden fork and spoon hanging on the wall in the kitchen.
Yeah.
Like.
But I
in the 70s.
and I still am insecure about it. But you know what? I don't care. It's me getting comfortable with being uncomfortable.
Yeah.
And that is important to understand. What will help to keep you motivated? Again, we just discussed it. I forget what they call it. It's some kind of board. But it's just
I can tell you it's not a Ouija board.
it's like a journal, like
Like a whiteboard, you got your daily goals on it.
yeah. In recovery, they actually call it something, and I can't think of the name. But
Probably a recovery board.
no, it's like a life board or something.
Larry probably
I
knows.
don't know.
Larry knows what it's called. Larry, text him what it is.
I'm sure he does. But again, it's just mapping out your day. It's like journaling out your day so that you can kind of keep on track and, keeping in the mind, like, okay, this could put a damper on that goal today, and how do I get around that? So map out your day, especially in early recovery. Journal in early recovery, because you need to get that stuff out of your head, and you need to start making progress and making positive progress.
Ironing board. Thanks, Larry.
Ironing board. Thanks, Larry, but that's not it either.
Yeah, you iron out your problems. You iron out your goals.
Yes, so I know my girlfriend has a board that she would do with the little pop-in letters, and it would be like a daily.
That would be a Scrabble board.
Well, it was like a reflection of
Pop-in
what
letter.
she wants her day to look like, and just an inspirational quote on it and a goal. So she lived within that day doing that. And
Get yourself one of those blotter things that's got the inspirational quotes of the day every day. Buy it for yourself at the beginning of the year.
Yep.
The New Year's present.
yeah,
Every day you'll get something inspirational, something positive.
yes.
Little things like that. It picks
And
you
I-
up. It picks you up.
And I follow a girl on Facebook that does inspirational cards. So people send her these things, and in the morning she'll wake up and she'll pick it up, and most of the times it resonates. Like sometimes it'll hit like, oh, that's what I'm feeling, and and then the inspiration is read out, and you start to feel better about
We've been
yourself.
doing outreach. I mean, with the group we used to go out with, they would go, have these bags they call blessing bags, and it would have resource papers and a few snacks in it. And it would have people would put inspirational like little letters in there, little quotes, and all little pick me ups. And it was great. It was a good pick me up, and it was a great tool to establish dialogue with people on the street.
Exactly.
I mean, that's what it was. It was a tool to gain trust and establish dialogue to
Yep.
help people. But it was great, and they still make them. They're very popular. They make a lot of blessing bags every week. They got blessing bag party. I'll put it out there. There's a group called AIM, Angels in Motion. I mean, I spent a lot of time with them. I learned a lot and met
Yeah.
a lot of people. I mean, they were on Facebook and all. If you want to look them up, you can read different things going on. There are all kinds of inspirational quotes on their website. And great organization. Like I said, Angels in Motion. I'm still friends with a lot of them. I'll see some of them on Sunday. I mean, we got a lot of events coming up this week. I mean, we're
Right.
going to an event on Saturday.
I was just getting ready to say that.
For Never Surrender Hope.
Yes.
It's a great event. They're having that Saturday. This is, Overdose Awareness Month. And we got Overdose Awareness Day coming up, what, the 27th? or something?
31st. The 31st is International Overdose Awareness
So we have an
Day.
event. We have an event on Saturday. We're going to do it. I have an event to do on Sunday for ProAct. I'm providing music for a big, picnic and resource type day. If you're in the area,
Living Hopeful will have a table.
if you're in the area, it's in Bristol.
Yes.
The ProAct's office there in the old Delhaas School. I mean, I'll be there. I'll play your favorite songs.
Yes.
But yeah, it's a very busy month for overdose awareness.
Yes. And tomorrow's event is at Deer Path Lane, I think it is.
Behind the old Rush Middle School off of Ninth
Yes.
Road. The Athletic Association in the back, there on the back road, the running track. It's on the running track. It's a great event. I went last year for the first time with Lori. They do a fabulous job.
It's absolutely
It's like a big memorial with a lot of these lit up candle things with everybody's names, like on the jars. It's beautiful, and they have
It's-
speakers. They talk. They really do a nice job.
It's amazing, and that is hosted by Never Surrender Hope Overdose Awareness Walk. They will have so many things for the kids to do. They do have some light refreshments, water. They have like the backdrop with that you can take pictures in front of. So many families come out that have lost a loved one and, have shirts or banners or something representing
A lot of
the
resources
loss.
out there. I know that, like
Yes.
the city had out, but they had Narcan available last year.
Yes.
I mean, I don't know if that's the case. I'm sure it is.
Yes, and you can check them out at 4330 Deer Path Lane, Philadelphia. Again, it's behind the Rush. It's down on the track, so
It's the Chalfont area of Philadelphia.
yes. 6
Northeast
p.m.
side.
6 p.m. it starts. And at night, when it gets dark, they do a reading of the names and of lost loved ones. They will have shirts available as well. And that just helps them be able to do what they're doing. So check out Never Surrender Hope on Facebook. They will. They're an amazing organization. And ProAct, of course, is doing their, their community barbecue, which, well, it's not really a barbecue, but that's what they call it.
It's a picnic.
It's a picnic.
I know about pizza and soda and hot dogs sometimes.
Yes, and it's a
nice.
free event. I will have a table, like Pappy said, he'll be DJing. There'll be things for the kids to do.
And
So it's a
free
family
resources,
event.
there's resources. Their AIM will be
Yes.
there. I know they'll be there. My good friend Helen Marie, she'll be there.
Yes, they will have
Representing AIM
Narcan available, Narcan training available. I will have my grands there, and it's just a nice day. It's a nice family day to come together because, so many families are affected by this disease, and so much time has been lost with children. And it's just a beautiful day to make up for some of the, decisions that weren't, the best of decisions while they were in their active use. So
And
check
not to
that
forget, on the
out.
bottom of this page here, it says, remember, challenge requires patience, practice, and persistence.
Yes, sir. Just trying to get up some information. Also, the recovery walk is coming up as well, and that has changed. It's ProAct. That has changed. It is now going to be in
The Navy Yard.
the Navy Yard down in Philadelphia. They unfortunately can only hold 5,000 people, where the
How are we going to say that when we had 30,000 viewers out there? Oh my God!
Yeah.
They're going to cause a stampede.
So in the past, they've had 30,000 plus come out, and that's resource tables. There was just so much information for addiction and recovery, and the lawyers that were out there to help with any problems that occurred during their use. So many resources, and it's just so important that we know that they're out there and we're trying to help the best we can.
And if you see an event in your area, I mean, always feel free to stop in and check it out. I mean,
Yeah.
you'll find resources there you won't find anywhere else. I mean, everywhere from insurance companies to medical, type facilities and rehabs and stuff. I mean, all under like one roof, so to speak. So they're very useful in finding resources, to know what's out there. I mean, when they're all together, and everybody's always very nice.
Yes. So check out on Facebook Proact Recovery Walks. It's a new day and a new location, Sunday, September 10th at the Navy Yard, Philadelphia. And it's a purple page, and it has feet going up it, and it's yellow and purple and white. So really get out there if you can. Represent somebody that that has lost the battle. Night, Barb. Hope you had a great day.
Oh, Barb's got to go fire up the coffee pots tomorrow. She got a big day in the life of a barista.
Yes. Have a good night, and we're here for you. Ever you need us, you know that.
Always reach out. You need anything. Same with everyone out there. The number's always open. 267-737-8031.
And Saturday, September 9th, the day before the Philly Walk, is the Hope Sheds Life. It's their 10th annual charity walk for recovery in Seaside Heights, New Jersey boardwalk. I've been there once for that walk, and it was absolutely amazing. So, please check these events out. Check out the,
If anybody's looking for a good barista, she's working from 6:30 to 3 tomorrow. Stop in.
Yes. I actually am going to a flea market in the morning and then heading over to Never Surrender Hope's Walk at 6 p.m. and bringing the kiddos for some face painting and some sand art and whatever else they have going on for the kids. So get out there, and if you hear of anything in your area, because I know there's so many different areas that we reach during the show and after the show when they, rewatch the reruns.
Yeah, remember, all our shows are available to watch. I mean, if you heard something you can't remember, you want to wind back, we have every show online. You just got to look back at, I forget what it's under videos, I guess.
Right.
I mean, what show are we up to now? 101? We're up to like 120 or 125th episode
Yeah,
here. They're all available.
125. So they're all available online on YouTube, and
Even the old shows
the old show,
on Facebook.
the table ones, the kitchen ones, no, that's on Facebook. So
yeah, we had to change our format. Facebook was getting a little wacky with our music and everything, sending us threats and this and that. We're copyright infringement on songs that the studio here has produced and owns, but it's incredible. They're like robots. They hear music, boom.
yes, and the best part is I'm always in jail. So Facebook jail, that is.
My wife is a repeat offender on Facebook. She
So
speaks her mind too much.
yes, screw them. So anybody out there struggling, please comment, please call in. That's what we're here for. That's what I'm trying to do. That's
That's
trying
what we
to
do. Don't think you're inconveniencing us. That's why we're here. That's why we do this. And we ask you to tell your friends about the show, to tune in. And we're not a monetized show. We make nothing from this show. We're not monetized with YouTube or anything like that. But we would like to get more viewers, just to know we're getting out there to more people. We really do. I mean, that's all we ask.
Yep. You never know
Tune
who
in, yeah.
needs to hear it. You never know who needs to.
And there's a lot of people out there that could use a little, a little advice, a little helping hand, a little
Yeah,
something.
'cause there's
What they just said the other week, 3 out of 10 people are either directly affected by opiates or have a family member that is. Sounds like we have a caller coming in.
Hello, caller.
Hello, caller.
Hello there. Can't outsmart your brain. Who'd you steal that from? You worry about me taking your stuff.
How you doing, Larry?
Hello, Mr.
I'm
Larry.
doing fine. I can't complain. Just, I was listening, and a couple points you were talking about, lapse and relapse. And talk about people who keep, from my experience, was like keeping it all in mentally, all the shit that goes on in my head that, leads me to a drink. And how these people should go, like, to meetings and journal and sit in the front of, and everything you said is like, really, that's what worked for me. The thing is, like, my head was so twisted and screwed up that, I had to clear out my head first. It's like, you throw the rubber bands or the paper clips in the junk drawer, then you go to pick one up and they're all stuck together.
Yeah.
And that was my brain, all the stuff that was bothering me, I had to take one piece out, put it down, get rid of that, another piece out, put it down, whatever that was bothering me. I couldn't get started on my recovery until I cleared my head out. And then, then it's not keeping it in. It was like, step 4, you write it down. Step 5, you share it with somebody. And like the 9th step, you make your amends. Mm-hmm. And then after that is step 10, I think it's 10, where you just make that daily inventory. And that, that was it. And, because otherwise, like the first time around, I kept stuff in and, I went right back to drinking. It only took a few years, but still, it didn't matter if it took a few years or a few months. I didn't work on it.
Right.
And another thing, too, was like sitting up front. My spots are, say, when you go to meetings, sit up front, get phone numbers. And especially sitting up front and listening. You don't have to share the first time you're there, the second or 10th. But you pick it up. The closer you sit, the better. You don't see the people behind you. And it gets to be more comfortable rather than sitting in the back and seeing all the heads in front of you and not really wanting to share when you see people get up and tell their story or whatever the situation is. This way, you get up front, you hear, but you don't see.
Mm-hmm.
Is that the proper terminology? Use all the heads in front of you? Isn't that kind of insulting?
No, well, that's what, you see the back of the head,
Yep.
who dyed their hair, the bald spot, but that's beside the point.
All them heads.
But,
And let me touch on one other thing. After the meeting, when you're all out there in that cloud of smoke of
chain
cigarettes
smoking
and
coffee
vaping, you're making connections. You're making new friends. You're making a positive step forward. And you become more relaxed and able to, get your story out there and share.
yeah, those who do stay.
Exactly.
Sometimes people, they run right out. They come in, they run in the last minute, and they run out.
Right.
Like
Because they're
they sort of
not-
miss something.
Yeah, they're not in it to win it. They're doing it for, the
Going through the
family,
motions, just going through the motions and not working it.
Yeah. Well, you got to start between your ears and then work your way out, basically.
exactly.
And that's what I did. That's what worked for me. For work, I hope it works for other people. I seen it work for other people. And, don't give up on yourself. That's another thing, too. Sometimes it drags, too, like, I ran into it the second time. Yeah, this is great. And get those doldrums. I've been talking about that lately, where you kind of slack. You get a little bored, you get annoyed, you don't really want to do it. But you get back in it again, and gradually you feel a little bit better. You start going back to the program again with a little bit, more vigor. And once I got into that, it just, it just kept going and going to where I am now. So, I mean, I'm in a good spot now. I can't complain.
Way to go, Serial Zombie. We're with you.
Yeah.
Yes, and,
Yeah.
and that's important. It's, just staying with the program if that's what you need. Not everybody needs to go through, the meetings for the rest of their lives. But staying
Yeah.
connected with those people that you have made friends with or feel like family with is so important to keep connected, because connection is probably the biggest tool we can give somebody in recovery.
Yeah. You gotta just keep it steady.
Yep.
It's not a race. It's just,
Nope.
it's sure you have to work on yourself and then just keep going that direction. And I don't know I forgot what you said, Pappy, but I have to steal that too, what you said a little while ago, that I was going to
You
work on it.
highlighted in your book.
Oh, yeah.
He highlighted it just so he can
Oh, that
say,
might-
Lar, that's mine. That's mine, Lar.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah, I said
All right.
fire last. People love to say that motivation doesn't last. Well, neither does bathing. That's why we recommend
Yeah.
it daily. That's by
Yeah.
Zig Ziglar,
Yeah.
whoever Zig is. There's all kinds of
right.
quotations in this book.
Okay, I'm going to get out of here. Maybe somebody else will call. You got like 15, 20 minutes.
All right, buddy.
I'm not taking up all the time.
We'd love
So-
to hear from you.
Yeah.
We'd love you.
You
Call in
always,
whenever you want.
You always share some really good inspiration and
You're a
suggestions.
breath of fresh air to the
Yes. Thanks, Lar. Have a good night.
Hey,
I'll see
You too.
I'll see you Wednesday. By the way, we get an extra week, so we'll be meeting for
Yeah.
3 weeks
show. Woo!
for the meeting at Living Room for the family support group.
Okay, see you later, everybody.
Larry Lloyd,
See
thank
ya.
you, buddy, for everything.
That was our man Larry. Yes, by the way, we will be last Wednesday, this past Wednesday was our family support meeting, and because of however many weeks, maybe a vacation, the family education program won't be meeting this coming Wednesday. So we are able to go ahead and
Take their slot, baby.
get
an
that
extra
time
meeting.
slot. We are trying our very best to get back to every week because it's really needed.
It is needed, and the group has gotten very large. We have
Yes.
some really good turnout some weeks, and people need it. And like, what really stinks, like we don't have it every week. Sometimes people can't make it every week, so that's even less time they can show up. You know what
Exactly.
I mean? Like, but it is what it is.
So we just met on the 23rd. We'll be meeting on the 30th, and we will be meeting on the 6th again. So we get the room for 3 weeks in a row, which
So anybody out
is
there, any of our
nice.
family group members, mark your calendars.
Yes, and it's because we have an extra Wednesday in that month. That's why we have that extra night. So Dana's not taking it, so we are.
So we got 15 minutes left in the show. If anybody has any questions or anything they want to add, feel free to call in or to, or chime in on the chat line.
Right. Or even share an event that we don't know about coming up, so that people out there in your area that may be listening can also get out there to attend. I mean, that's important. That's what helped me get to where I am today in my journey with my loved one is, BC, before COVID, there were so many events out there that I could attend that had different vendors and different resources and different education that I was blessed to be part of, so that I got the education that I needed and that I got the resources that I can share with other people. And I can't tell you how important it is to stay connected and to, compile a list of these resources so that we can, help each other and advocate for each other.
And that's why me and Lori do what we do for any new members out there. I mean, we started out doing outreach. We used to go out on the streets and work with people and, in their active addiction right on Ground Zero, in the streets of Kensington. I did that for a long time, and we kind of changed gears over the years, saying that the families are being left behind. They don't know where to turn, what to do, and it's frightening. It's a helpless feeling. You don't know how to help your loved one when that's your whole purpose in life, is to take care of your loved one, especially if it's your children. I mean, you run into a burning building for your children if need be, but yet you don't know what to do. You don't seem to be able to help them because you don't have the education and are not aware of the resources, because you can't love your way out of this. You know what I mean? Because
Can't buy your way out of it either.
You could spend all your money on the best of this and that, and if you don't know exactly what you're doing with it, you could be doing more harm than good.
Right.
I mean, you gotta be careful not to love your loved ones to death.
Yep. And I know many people that have spent their retirement just
all the
trying to
savings
get their loved
But they
one.
said the best of the best. I mean, they want for them, so they go for the more expensive, the better. It's not always necessarily the case. I mean,
Exactly. It's
But
when
it's
they're
good to
ready and want it.
get to a meeting and learn what's out there and learn about addiction, because so many of us think we know about addiction because we grew up in households full of it. So we all think we're experts on addiction, me being one of them. And only to find out after becoming educated that my beliefs were so flawed and so wrong. I mean, and I realize that now, and like important, education is your best tool. Whether you're suffering from addiction or you have a loved one suffering from addiction, the more education you get on it, the more it's going to make sense to you, and the more you're going to be able to work with it to get by. Let's see what we got here. Hey, we've been doing some. Okay,
That's
Lord,
all.
take over.
Yeah.
Serial Zombie. We got a new viewer here. I'm reading what they have to say.
Yeah, so, just get educated. That's the
You're welcome,
best thing.
Serial Zombie. Serial Zombie, how did you find out about us? Did you just stumble upon us on YouTube, or were you suggested? We're just curious how you found out about us.
And that's the most important thing is the education and social media. That's the nice thing about when we came into this, when this affected us, that
Gotcha.
the anonymous program, people were dying. People were dying every day. And I think when we first got into this, it was like 64,000 a year.
Yeah, we were losing like in the 60,000
Yeah.
range.
And-
Now we're up to over 110,000 a year.
Yes,
We're
a
losing
year.
to overdose.
And
I mean, these are numbers. I mean, like I said, that's more than we lost in 20 years of Vietnam,
yep,
and every war thereafter up till yesterday. We
exactly.
lose more people in 1 year to overdose than all that time, all
Right.
that war. Probably even adding in Korea,
Actually,
Vietnam War. And all
yeah, but actually even more than that, because some people die because of
yeah, it's
what they've done
it's underreported
over
and,
the years.
and what they've destroyed their organs and this and
Right.
that and their heart. I mean, especially with opiates. So many people, I mean, with heroin and stuff and fentanyl, they're destroying the valves in their hearts and all, and they're dying of of heart disease at early age. I mean, of complications. I mean, it's bad, and with the addition of fentanyl and now this xylazine, known as Trank, it's even worse.
Yes.
The situation is getting worse and worse.
And thank you, Serial Zombie, for bringing that up too. The PTSD that occurs from the substance use disorder, especially when you are living homeless in your
Living-
active addiction.
Living on the streets, it's very surreal.
Seeing what
Seeing
you're
things.
seeing out there, seeing people dying in front of you because that they got something that they weren't expecting and their tolerance wasn't built up enough, or they've come out of jail or rehab and gone back to the streets and gone and taken the same thing that they were taking after a certain period of time of being clean and sober and overdosing.
The PTSD, just the overall everyday stress of being able to get your hustle on to get what you need to
Yep.
feel well. That is so stressful. It's all consuming. That's all your life is about, especially when you're homeless on the street. I mean, that's your every waking moment is thinking about how you're going to get your next fix.
And I've said it before. A lot of times we go into detox rehab, and you get your clarity back, and you get the tools that you need to stay away from the substance that you were used to, but you never follow through on the mental part of that. And seeing a therapist for the stuff that sits here, the underlying shit that just builds up and just piles up, and you keep it inside and you're not talking about it and getting it out, and that becomes a whole other situation, and more than likely will take you right back to picking up and using because of the PTSD and the mental health issues that people start using because they feel inadequate. They have anxiety, depression,
Sure.
and then they never.
Most addicts have an underlying mental condition. Also, it's often twofold. I mean, and that going undiagnosed or untreated, I mean, it just makes the chemical addiction part just untreatable. But you got to treat both things.
Yes. And I just want to put it out there as well. We have a Facebook page as well, and it's called Living Hopeful, and that is an opened page. That is a page that anybody that joins in or anybody that shares anything on that page, anybody can see. But we also have Living Hopeful Lower Bucks County, which is a closed group. So you have to
private.
answer the questions in order to be accepted in. And the only people that can see anything you're posting or sharing are those people that are members on that page. So on that page you will find resources, you will find inspirational things, you'll find things that are in the news today. And I just want to keep a page where people can go and connect and find me if they need to talk or they need to get a resource. So if you are out there for the first time and stumbled upon us, that's great, that's awesome. Thank you for being here, and I hope we can help you.
And we're here every Friday, Serial Zombie, at 9 o'clock. Every
Yep.
Friday. We rarely miss a week.
Eastern Standard Time. I'm not
Oh,
sure
yeah,
what
Eastern
time
Standard
your
Time. I'm sorry, we don't know if you're...
Yeah,
okay,
I don't
from
know
the
if
U-
you're waking up.
On the other side of the pond over there, or wherever you... I know you're saying Solidarity
Yeah.
for the UK.
So we are Eastern time zone. So right now it is 10:24
We
p.m.
are operating out of the United States.
Yes.
Yeah, forget about that. We got people from all over.
Yeah, we do.
Tune in there. We
I
should-
stumbled upon that. I don't
We
know
should
how I
make a
found
point to
it.
say that we are, out of the United States.
And we are here every Friday night. If for any reason we can't be here, always check the Facebook page, because it's 3:24 a.m. currently here. Wow, that's early. But I always post on Facebook if the page, if we have a problem with our director working so far away. It's sometimes on that turnpike can be hell, or just closing his store could be a problem. So I'll post if we're running late, or I'll post if we're not going to be going live for whatever reason. So always check there if you can't find us.
We're on from 2 to 3:30 out there, Serial Zombie, in your area.
Yes.
You remember that, right?
So
2
when
to
you
3:30 a.m.
can't sleep, when
And
you
if you're lying
can't
in bed, you
sleep,
can't sleep, tune in.
we're here.
And if you got anything to ask or anything to add, I mean, we're always open to suggestions. Mm-hmm. I mean, we're a fun group.
I'm always looking to, bring whatever is needed to the community because,
If you have any music questions, you see we got a nice music studio here we broadcast out of.
awesome. And check out the Facebook page as well. You have a good morning
Or good night.
or a good night. And please come back again.
Tell your friends.
Tell your
Please.
friends, tell your family. We ourselves are not in recovery. We do not have a substance use issue. We don't, we can go out and have a drink and that be it.
And we just like to clarify that because we don't try to be something we're not.
Right.
That's the only reason we tell you that all the time. We have a family member that's over 7 years of recovery. Our son.
Yeah.
Doing great. And I mean, this is his music studio.
Yes.
It's a beautiful studio. These are all the things that come.
Serial
with
Zombie
sobriety,
says
I mean.
those guitars are absolutely gorgeous.
You can see the whole studio. It's a very large studio. This is the recording room. We have a live room right in front of us. There's a soundproof window in front of us and a isolation booth there for vocalists. Our son does mixing and mastering and all. And 7 years ago, he didn't even have a car. They repossessed that. He had nothing. And then within the last 7 years, he's rebuilt his life. He has a beautiful girlfriend and 2 beautiful children. He has a brand new truck. He has a beautiful studio. These are all the things that come back that you acquire through sobriety and recovery. I mean,
For doing the right thing.
it works if you work it, man. All the money wasted on heroin, it's got all these beautiful things. It's amazing.
So we're just, and we're just out here. I saw a need for the families to find and get support. And this is why I do what I do. I used to follow a show that's no longer available. And
You can see the studio out there. It's Forsaken Studios. They have a Facebook page. You can find it. Forsaken Studios. Or is it Forsaken Recording Studio? What are you on there? Forsaken Recording Studios. You can see more of the studio and some people in there performing and this and that. It's not updated frequently, but there's some stuff on there if you want to see more of the studio.
yes, but we're always here. I'm always available by phone, 267-737-8031. You can also message me on Messenger through the page, because if you're in the UK,
You can reach us on ham radio too, by the way, if you're in the UK.
you can reach me on Messenger, because some areas you're not going to be charged for long distance or overseas. You can contact us through Messenger as well. So, check us out, and if you need help, you need resources, even if you're not in the Pennsylvania area, we're near Philadelphia. If you are not in this area, I have a lot of pages that I follow and a lot of Facebook friends and resources. So if you are not in this area, I can always reach out to somebody that would be able to find the resources that you need in the area. That's what I'm about. That's what I want to do. That's how I help. And, helping somebody else is helping me, because I knew it was somebody else that helped my loved one get to where they are today, because, their child was going through the same thing. So, everybody, it is now 10:30. I paint a lot. I would love to donate some artwork if you wanted it. I am happy to send it. That's beautiful. Thank you. Just reach out to me on Facebook. And everybody, take care. Have a good week. We will be back here next Friday. I don't have a guest scheduled yet, or if I do, I will let you know, or you'll see them here in the studio. Everybody have a good week. We are out of here.
Thanks for tuning in, everybody. John, thanks for everything you did for us this week here, by the way.
Yes.
And remember, as always, recovery works if you work it.
Yeah, peace out, everybody.
Good
Be
night, everyone.
safe.
Thanks for tuning in.
Conversations seem to die. Nostalgic thoughts of a better place in time. But I can't take you there. Another day, another page, another chance for time to rip you away and leave me on my own. I feel so alone since you've gone. Pieces, so listen close. I have so much to say, but I feel these are my dying